Shaft.
What's up, everybody? This is G-Man. You hear that music, you know that theme song is going down, and it's time for What's the Matter? I'm here with my partner in crime, Miss Kel, the beautiful Kel Rush. How you doing today, Kel?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Hey, as promised, everybody, we are now in studio again for a special episode of What's the Matter podcast. We were planning on doing a remote. When Kel, got me, I had referenced a remote one. We had talked about that at first, but we are in studio here at the Matterhorn Studios, and we have Dr. Tom Waldorf. I'm sorry, I almost messed that up. I did mess it up, but I kind of recovered. Yeah,
You got it.
we got it back, and then Dr. Aaron Wolf in the studio. They are going to be talking about what's the matter with active life. And as deviate a little bit from what we normally do, I'm pleased to do this. I've been looking forward to doing this because Kel has been in the radio broadcasting business much longer than I have. And so what we're going to do today, we're going to flip the script a little bit. We did just have a tour, a little short tour, down at the facility, right? And watching you interact with the doctor, you know your shit.
Oh, thanks.
Like, right? At least it seemed that way.
I would agree.
I fake it.
As a matter of fact, you guys are going to find out because we were talking about shit. In a good way, yeah. So,
Medically.
right. So we'll be talking about all kinds of stuff tonight. So thank the audience for tuning in, whether you're doing it on the live stream or whether you're doing it later on after this has been recorded and put on Podbean. So with no further ado, I am going to do something that I haven't done yet, and I'm going to pass off the baton to Kel today because she exhibited just amazing, just a tie-in to what we're talking about today. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and just chill over here, and you guys call me if you need me. Kel, take over.
Thanks. And feel free to chime in with any questions you have, too, because I know stuff is going to come up, and you'll be like, hey,
That's
Don't
without
hold
a
back.
doubt.
Yeah.
That's without a doubt.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is just a conversation over the coffee table.
Yeah, exactly.
But we are talking about functional health today, which is something I am intimately involved with and have been using for decades, long before it was a thing and it was still in the woo-woo and, what's that? And really, a lot of it is ancient practices, acupuncture and, things that Eastern medicine has done for centuries, if not tens of thousands of years, that we here in America are just kind of catching on to. Oh, what's this new thing? Good health. So we're playing with it, and I've been tracking down a lot of the things that Dr. Tom and Dr. Aaron are involved with and really excited to talk about.
Me too.
So welcome to the set, and just tell us kind of who you are, how you got started, how you got involved in this, and what you're doing now and why.
I'm Dr. Tom Waldorf. I'm a chiropractic physician and the CEO of Active Life Integrated Health, and been in healthcare for over 30 years and have always looked for treatments that are outside the norm, both by technology and also by how our bodies actually need to function versus covering up what's going on.
Yes.
And I've always wanted people to be able to allow their bodies to do the healing. And I've always said, your body is not Vicodin depleted.
Right?
You're not taking Vicodin
to supplement something.
Yeah, to supplement your need for the Vicodin in your body. We have a tendency, unfortunately, to cover up what is actually going
Yes.
on.
Only deal with the symptoms.
Only dealing with the symptoms and not the reason why you have those symptoms.
Well, and of course, you and I both, having previously been in IT and software, we're root causers. If you're an IT professional, you have to be interested in root cause because so much, you have to drill down and it's caused by something you would have never thought of.
Correct.
And human bodies are now mirroring IT, if not the other way around.
Yeah, I really hope that we don't get our bodies too close to IT.
No, and that's a whole nother talk show.
Yeah.
We can have that conversation later.
Yeah, our bodies are an amazing piece of machinery if we only know how to take care of it.
Sure. But we're not even taught how they work
No.
True, in an authentic, true, factual way. We are not taught how these things work.
Absolutely not. I get
Ridiculous.
patients in that have had a condition for their whole lives and have gone to 10, 20 doctors. And I'm like, has anybody told you what's going on? No. They just tell me I need to take this or I need to do this or I need to have this surgery. I said, do you know why you need that? No.
Did you even ask?
Well, I think, unfortunately, our society is the doctors know best. That is changing, of course, but you don't question the physician, and they tell you you don't question them.
I'm curious if they have a class in, you could probably answer this. Is there a class that teaches you that superiority and arrogance? Lawyers have that. They call it asshole class. Seriously.
It's called residency, but I'll let Dr. answer that a little bit better.
Well, one of the things is most of the physicians that I dealt with and I went to school with, they do not have bedside manner. You go into a physician, we're going to say an allopathic physician, and their primary reason is to palliate the symptom. We want to just stop the
immediate
symptom from happening, the immediate cure. But they really don't have the time or the inclination to get down to the core. And that's what we want to do.
Wait,
Oops.
I have to do it. What is palliate?
First
Yeah.
too big for you, Grady? That's
you
a good
guys
point.
okay?
Basically, it means to chemically soothe in medicine when you're talking in medicine. Palliative care is usually end of life. My dad was palliated out.
Absolutely.
And that's just a nice way of saying we killed him with chemicals.
Rather than kindness.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
You can stay.
That's what I'm here for.
the conventional physician, though, just they rely on a lot of the nurses to do the intake. And they don't have a lot of time to deal with the patient. You know, they, as much as they know, I mean, they're subject to looking what's on the chart and finding out what's in the blood tests and, you know, so on and so forth. And it's just, they come in there and say, this is what you need, rather than asking the question to the patient, what is going on? You know, where did it come from? When did it all start? And so that's where we come in. We go back to the core. Sometimes we'll take them back to childhood. When did it start? What was going on in your life when this happened?
Well, I want to just clarify something real quick because I said who I am. We haven't asked who this gentleman is
Yes.
and why he's able to answer these questions
This
he is not a
good point.
chiropractic physician.
Yeah.
And this is what
You're a
makes us
medical
so
doctor,
different.
yeah.
Well, I did in the beginning mention Dr. Aaron Wolf, but we don't know who
His
he
specialty.
is.
That's
Yeah,
why I wanted
exactly.
Thank
the
you.
audience to know who
So-
he is.
Yes.
You know what I'm going to do too? I'm going to step aside. We have Laura in here too. Laura is the first person that you're going to see when you walk through the doors at Integrated Life, Active Life Integrated
Integrated
Health.
Health,
You got it.
And so she's amazing at what she does. So I'm going to turn me down and get her in my seat, and I'll probably see you guys in about 10-15.
Awesome.
Perfect.
So yeah, Dr. Aaron, tell us your background too. How long you've been in this, what got you into wanting to be a doctor, and how you got into functional health.
This started many, many years ago. I was very disillusioned on the regular medical care because the more people I saw, you know, and I dealt with, you know, in med school, the sicker they got. It's just no one was actually coming to the core, you know, why is this happening? And so when they asked that question, it was time for, well, we'll send you to a specialist. And so I really got, you know, very, very, not really upset, but I changed my mind. I said, I want to go in to find out where the core issue comes from. So I schooled in India, in Kolkata.
Wow.
And that was really a different way of thinking. We did a lot of homeopathy. We did some Ayurvedic medicine as well as clinical. Then after I got my bachelor's and then my MD in alternative medicine, I learned from a man named Vega Rosenberg in Cyprus, Israel, who's, you know, he's a rabbi and a doctor there. And the guy's a homeopathic master. He's phenomenal. And after learning from Vega Rosenberg and one of his students, Robert Field, I went to what you'd say the other part of the world. I went to Greece, had to learn from a guy that runs, George Vitholkis, who runs International Academy of Classical Homeopathy. And he's been teaching the doctors in the United Kingdom all through Europe for the last 55 years.
Wow.
And he is like one of the world's best.
The best, yeah.
And so taking that, learning these steps, which is totally different and totally backwards from what we normally use and what we learn. And it's just some of the things are phenomenal.
That's incredible. What a trajectory. And to me, if anybody can't hear that and realize just how thorough and how much you truly care as a physician, there's not much hope for them. Stay in Western meds if you can't hear that and understand the normal medical school path is arduous. That is a journey. I mean,
Yeah.
that was a chosen journey that for your own interest, and to then bring that and serve the world with it is, to me, is just the highest of the high.
And to
Yeah.
see the results are phenomenal. You see a person that's been suffering for years, and like Dr. Tom, somebody that's been to numerous physicians, and they did this and they did this, but they're still using the same techniques.
Right.
Once they change out of that, they give you a treatment that actually stimulates your body to heal itself. It's phenomenally. It's a game changer.
Sure. We are. I mean, our bodies are built to heal themselves if we're not
Exactly.
inundated with poison and
Yeah.
chemicals and heavy whatever all this crap that they're throwing at us to try and take us down.
One of the things I talk about all the time is our toxicity, and we're in this environment. And I've had actually doctors ask me, well, how long do I need to take these detox products? And I said, as long as you live on this planet, because our environment is killing us. And so we have to fight back with our knowledge and understanding of how the body actually works.
Right.
And that it is made to heal if you give it the environment to do so. So that's really what's so exciting about what Dr. Wolf and I are doing together. I'm really handling the functional, mechanical side of the body. How do I repair injury? And then how do we repair metabolic injury, which is heavy metals and poisons and microplastics? How do we repair the hormones, that whole balancing of hormones as we get older?
Which is already out of whack. And then you add the
Yes.
environmental toxins to it, the BPAs and all the
Yes.
soys and the estrogens and all
Yes.
this extra crap that we were never even built for.
Yeah. Why are sperm levels going down? Why are people not getting pregnant? It's because we're toxic. And our body, since the Industrial Revolution, hasn't known what to do with all of these new minerals and poisons and heavy metals and plastics. It doesn't know what to do with it, except store it in our fat. And why are people not losing weight? The body doesn't want to release these toxins, so it holds on to the fat. So it's not rocket science.
It's really not.
It's pretty basic. But one, as I told a patient today, be patient. It took you how long to get here? I have a gentleman that's had 3 concussions. He got referred to us from a nurse practitioner. He just wasn't getting better. He has all of these.
CTE?
Yeah. He ran into a deer on his motorcycle, and this was like his 3rd concussion, and night terrors, and you name it. He's got all of this abnormality, and he was at a 7 and an 8 up to last week. He's been with us 3 weeks. Today, he says, I'm a 4.
Wow. And that's the pain scale, 1 to 10 pain scale you're talking
Yeah.
about.
He's not having nightmares anymore. And I'm like, well, we got you on nitric oxide and your blood flow is happening, and we're working your cranials and your spinal system. And we're using one of our new pieces of equipment, Imcella, with his pelvic floor. And there's just so many things. And we're gradually now going to start detoxing him because we got blood flow happening. And then once we get him detoxing, we're going to get him on essential ketones to help his brain start stimulating.
Right.
And it's so exciting because I've been able to do those mechanical things, and our nurse practitioners can get people's hormones balanced, and I can get them detoxed and do this. But now with Dr. Wolf, we get to even go even deeper into repairing all the way down to the DNA, which is really
that's
exciting.
when you're really getting into it.
So the concept and ideas of what we're going to be able to do together, and we're really, one of the things that excites me the most, and I know it does Dr. Wolf, is educating.
And that's the key. If people just knew and were aware, catharsis alone automatically starts a healing process.
Yes.
So if you
understanding
can just I was recently diagnosed ADHD. I knew I was ADHD, but the autistic piece was hidden. And that just came out 6 months ago. And just the relief of being able to stop beating myself up for stuff that's not my fault. Stuff that I had no control over my behavior. Now, it's not my fault, but it is my responsibility to manage it now that I'm aware.
Correct.
That but just knowing those triggers are biological and neurological. I mean, it stopped a lifetime of self-talk that was killing me, really negative self-talk. So, truly that's the information and education is really the key.
Well, we want to become in our practice, not just a healing center, but a learning center. And we have partners coming into our practice wanting us to be that for other providers.
That's great.
Because I've been in healthcare for so long and done so many different things, I get on the phone with a lot of doctors and say, these are our protocols. This is what they're doing. They go, interesting.
Right.
Can I learn more? And
That's the cool thing about medicine. Like, you guys get interested in each other,
yes.
and don't get that ego thing. You don't get a lot, that you're just like, whoa, wow. I love to see that.
And that's what in the next 5, 10, 20 years, that's what I hope to see our place
Zach
become
Bush
that.
and
We've even got you and our students coming in.
that's great.
That are like, they were like one profession and they go, well, maybe I might want to do this. And that's really exciting to me.
That is really, really, really.
Yeah, because the reality of it is Dr. Wolf and I are, hopefully we'll live to like 120, 130. Like,
I think so. These things are built to last 200 years.
Well, I think Moses was what, 300, 400 years old?
Yeah. I mean, this is, I'm serious. That like, that's no joke.
Yes.
We are like, I'm aging in reverse. I'm 57 years old. Do I look it?
No.
Do I sound it?
Mm-mm.
Does my energy feel it?
No.
I'm 35 as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And I was born 35, got stuck there when I turned 35, and that's why I'm going to die.
Well, it's interesting because a lot of the things I've done the last 2 years, I've dropped 7, 8 years of my metabolic age. And I know it's going to go even further.
Yeah.
So I know because all the stuff that we do in our practice, I don't do fringe stuff.
Right.
It's evidence-based.
Right. That's the other thing.
Yeah. Our FMD diets and the intermittent fasting has all the research behind it,
Right.
why and what we don't do anymore because we have too much access to food. We don't fast, which we really have to reset our bodies.
Yeah.
People in the blue
autophagy.
zones that are living 120, 130 years
Yes.
with no disease. Why?
Yeah.
Because there's a process our body has to go through that people don't
That
get.
we've been fighting here in America.
Too much access to food, which is a crazy concept.
And not like functional food. Like just, it's food that entertains our mouth.
Entertains our brain.
Well, that too.
That's
that chemical, that
chemical.
dope, that dopamine fix.
So-
There's a reason they call it dope.
Right. So the concept of us being able to get to a point where we get to educate not only our patients, but other people that want to go into healthcare,
Yes.
because we have to recreate ourselves.
Well, to me, I mean, it's impressive when you have M-Cell coming to you. You're not the one going, hey, can we do this? Can I bring this into my office? They're coming to you saying, you're the only one in the region we want doing this. That's impressive.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
That's, you don't hardly need social proof when you've got that. I mean,
that's true.
It helps, obviously,
It does.
but really, I mean, people believe other people when they, leave reviews about their experience and things like that. We like that and it helps. But there's people that promote, and then there's people that under promote that just will never there's people that will just never give a 5 just because nothing's perfect or
it's
whatever.
Interesting because we ask patients, how did you hear about us? And we just had one call today and she was in excruciating pain. And I said, how'd you hear about us? Google. I said, okay, well, what made you interested? She goes, you had really good reviews, but one. and I said, yeah, I know about that one. And she goes, that didn't matter.
Everybody ignores that one. They know that guy's a jerk. That person just gives bad reviews just because it makes them feel better.
Yeah. So, it's really interesting because I have all this clinical data and people's eyes just glaze over and
right.
I don't really care. But Mary said, you're great.
That's the other side of it. But, there's even subconsciously the idea that the company came to you, is just, to me, an automatic testimonial.
Yeah. And I love that works great.
I finally got back.
But I also, the fact that I get to talk to other doctors, and have these conversations. Like I was at a conference in Dallas and I started asking doctors, what causes peripheral neuropathy? And they go, well, it's a nerve problem. I said, is it? Is it a nerve problem? And they go, yeah, that they can't feel their feet and da-da-da. I said, but why? And they're like, I don't know. I said, well, what's happening to the nerves?
These are neurologists.
These are other providers that are seeing these patients that are doing modalities like stem cell and electrical. And I'm like, that's not going to work because it's being caused by no blood flow. You've got to get the blood,
of course,
to the nerves to treat the myelin sheaths on the outside of the nerve so that they can function properly. So you can't just throw anything at something. You have to understand why you're doing it. And the patients need to understand, why you're doing it.
And I think we're finally getting to a point where it's a split for sure. But you've got a percentage of the population that wants that wants to, like, okay, we've had it. This is obviously bullshit. This isn't working. We're throwing the same thing over and over and get the expecting different results is the definition of insanity. People are so beat down with their own ability to discern because they get so many messages of, you're this, you need that, you can't do this, you don't have that piece of paper, you don't know this, you're blah, blah, blah. And they believe it. And they stop trusting their own energy, their own gut. So I think it's coming around now that we've got more of the collective that are hearing this going, I knew it. I knew there was something else. And then running down that.
Yeah. And like you and I talked about a little while ago, I really want people to say, there's something else I need to try first before this drug, before this shot, before this surgery.
Yes.
We're non-invasive. We're not going to create harm. And that is our oath.
The ultimate original oath that
we will not create harm, versus you going in and saying, this may cause death. This may cause paralysis. This may cause you to have an adverse reaction. When did that all start happening?
When was that okay? When do we normalize that?
Exactly. And I'm like, why not try the non-invasive first? I've had patients coming in. They can't feel their feet. They have radiating pain down their legs. They're not being able to walk. I said, let's try some non-invasive therapies first. 3 or 4 treatments. I'm like, you're getting worse. Let's send you to an orthopedist or a neurosurgeon. This is the time. This is not going anywhere.
Right.
And we can do that. But you come to me after you've had a cage put into your low back and you're still having problems. It's going to be really hard for me to work with you. I'm going to try.
Sure.
And we've got ways to help. But you would have been a lot better off if you met me 5 years ago.
The thing I have to say, Dr. Tom, is watching your work with my wife, and now, really not having any kind of apprehension referring people to you, is it's a genuine, at least it seems that way. You may be an actor, but
well, I do.
You're not a doctor. You just play one on TV.
He could do that too.
Yeah, I have been in a couple movies.
Yeah,
but just it seems like you truly partner with the individual, you and they partner in their health.
Exactly.
And so instead of it being just a number, and again, I think it's just the experience. Kel, you can speak on this, take over on the point, but it seems like the experience with people nowadays is because they're just that number. It's just so cold between the HMO or PPO. It seems like the doctor's always in a hurry. And, so.
Well,
I just have to say that your approach is very refreshing.
And I appreciate that, but I have a real soft spot for the allopathic physician. They unfortunately have been jammed.
Wait. I'm going to do it again. What is the allopathic?
Western medicine.
Western
regular.
Actually
allopathic as opposed to homeopathic.
You could tell I didn't go to medical school.
You can tell. No. Tell Grady that you're very healthy. You haven't been to a lot of doctors. You haven't been in the medical system. That's how I know so much.
Doctors.
Just by having been
I
in the grind for so long.
My office. So where I'm going with this is that we've created, unfortunately, a situation, and I look back at all the way back to World War I, World War II, when we had to do this acute care, save the person's life.
Right.
And
that's it. We're good at that. We're good at trauma and acute.
Yes.
That's it.
And that's what became our health care, is acute and trauma. I mean, I'm not going to go to a chiropractor if I just got in a car accident and I got a bone sticking out of my leg. I'm going to go to the ER, give me morphine and put this back in place. But we can't do that for you have a stomach ache. You got high blood pressure. Why? You just need a statin. You just need this. You just need that. We've taken acute care and made it into our health care.
Chronic medicine.
We've made it into our health care, and it isn't health care. It's sick care. And that's where it needs to stay for people that have, not taken the responsibility.
That's it.
To get healthy. We don't, in our practice, want people that just want an easy fix. I tell patients every time, this is going to take time. Our program is a minimum of 3 months, because I'm not going to probably see benefit until 4 to 6 weeks. And you're going to have to see me 2 to 3 times a week. If you can't do that,
Yeah, don't bother.
Don't.
Don't.
Yeah, you are not a candidate for our care. If you want something fast or you want it instantaneous, go to your primary who has 10, 15 minutes to spend with you, because that's how the model's been set up. They're not there to hear you. They're here to give you something.
Right.
So we've got to
And
make a
probably
decision.
get a kickback from it.
Yeah, we don't want to go there. We as a society need to make a decision. What kind of care do we want? What kind of care do we deserve? And I say that to patients. You deserve to be healthy. So let's get you healthy.
And here's the other thing too. Because of the way our insurance system works, people think that healthcare should be free. They have a copay or they don't have to pay. They just show up or whatever, and somebody else pays the bill that they never even see. And then, you know, when that stops working, they scream that they're entitled. Excuse me? No, you're really not. Like they're when people, first of all, this whole European insurance versus American insurance system
or Canadian
or whatever. Yeah. Oh, we don't have to pay. Okay, first of all, we're dealing with 350 million people in one area.
Right.
Every other country that you throw that at is maybe 40 million.
Yeah.
Max. Yeah. It's a numbers thing. I mean, first of all,
and it's a numbers thing, and we're sick.
And then it's just it's that people are told they don't have to take care of themselves. Oh, you can have this, have it all. Yeah, you can have it all, not all at the same time.
Yeah, and our operations manager just reminded me of what she went through, and she was in medical, and the doctors kept wanting to give her SSRs. Here, take an SSR, take an SSR, take an SSR.
I was in that wheel for a while.
Right. And then she realized she was over-caffeinated.
Jeez.
Because of the stress of the environment she was working in, and she was working in medical. God. 4, 5, 6 coffees later.
It's a cortisol shitstorm.
Yeah. And people don't recognize that our bodies create caffeine receptor sites in our cells. So our bodies continue to crave caffeine. It's not like the Vicodin model I use. We don't create a Vicodin receptor site, but we do create a caffeine receptor site.
Wow.
And your body wants to keep feeding it,
of course.
Feeding it, and then you can't sleep. And I had that experience the other day. I couldn't sleep. My brain was going crazy. I can't shut it down with all the things I'm thinking about. Yesterday, I was terrible. I couldn't think. I couldn't focus. I just pushed myself through it. Went to bed at 8:30 last night. Got up at 5, did my
Normal
workout.
Time.
Here I am. I'm back. And but how many people are like that?
Day after day,
right?
Year after year, decade after. It was me. I was definitely in that. I was in the corporate grind for years as an IT consultant and blah blah blah. And I got into it at 14 is when I started working, and never stopped.
Right.
Until I had to.
Until
I got so sick.
That's the thing. Is that you don't stop until your body says,
and then
I've
I
had
beat
enough.
myself up over what's wrong with me. Why can't I used to be so good, and da 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 da, and I had no idea I was ADHD. That this explains so much. Because I hit the female adult late diagnosis adult female ADHD is a very specific thing, and most of us hit it at menopause.
Right, of course.
That's when we crash. We've been doing it all for so long.
It's crazy. Though.
Aaron, do you remember when you went through menopause?
Menopause. Well, now with all the estrogen in everybody's system, you get an andropause, right?
But I mean, when I went through menopause, it was the weirdest thing. I could not touch the thermostat. I was not. It was.
I didn't know men could have a menstruation. Are you menstruating?
I baked that in there. So.
Well, I think it's interesting that the terms are menstruating, menopause.
Well, men came up with it.
Everything's our fault, damn it.
Well, it was really Eve's fault, but we don't need to go there.
No, it was Lilith's fault.
Men's the cause?
She wouldn't kneel.
They need to pause before they're going in.
That's right.
Deep,
that's
Doc.
good. That's
deep.
good. And how many do?
Just crack the door open and listen for about 10 seconds.
I hope this isn't going on normal radio, but anyway, where were we at? I love this comment. It just happened. I mean, I get patients. I don't know what's been going on. This just happened. I said, you're 45 years old. This did not just happen. This has been happening since
it's like that overnight divorce. I don't know where it came from. I don't know how it happened.
Right.
Everything was so good.
Your body is a miracle. You're fortunate you lasted 45 years. Your body's been putting up with you for 45 years. And now today it's saying, I'm
No
done.
more.
I'm done. And now you're going, but why? And that's the thing that's really driving me crazy is people need to start waking up and saying, I'm not sleeping, I'm overeating, I'm drinking. I mean, I had an event with a bunch of fraternity brothers.
Can't play golf anymore.
I did that with my fraternity brothers. I went and played golf with them. I hadn't done it. Well, fortunately, I knew something about what to do. We had all this alcohol all over the place that night. I had 2 or 3 beers. I didn't get into heavy alcohol. I woke up on a couch at one of the buddies' houses. I wasn't drunk, but I woke up and I was going
Reminiscing
into
on your frat days.
spasm. Yeah, those were bad.
There's a reason I don't do this.
Yes, there's a reason why I haven't seen these guys in 25 years. Hamstring was cramping. My calf was cramping. I'm like, oh my God, what's going on with me? And I fortunately had our solid product, which is an electrolyte. I popped it in my mouth. Instantaneously, it goes away. I'm like, thank God I know what the hell I'm doing. But
Right?
I'm not seeing these
I'm
guys
doing
for
this
another
again.
25 years.
At their funerals.
Because it's like, I know better. I was out for 8 hours trying to hydrate, didn't hydrate enough, all these things. And it's like, I didn't have to question, this just happened, you know? And
I
I,
don't know what happened.
yeah. And the patient that
People are
came in today said, I went and golfed and this just happened. It didn't just happen. So that's another thing that just cracks
Well, then they
me
think you're
up.
psychic when you're like, well, how many beers did you have? How much walking did you do? How many? Did
You know that.
Oh, that's
Oh, man.
hilarious. That is so funny.
That's one of the things that we cover in our facility is, causation.
Mm-hmm.
What caused it? What were you doing at the time to bring this on? How long has it been going on and how severe is it? No.
And you have to be honest
You
with
do.
me. You can't cover this up. I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to help you.
Do you want to get better
Tell
or
me
you
for
just
real.
want to
I'm not your
validate
wife. Yeah. That was good.
Yeah, I'm not your significant other. Don't
Yeah.
tell me what I
Don't-
want to hear.
it? Exactly.
Right? Not your mother, not your wife.
Hey,
You can
and
be
we
honest
haven't let anybody know yet. Of course, Active Life Integrated Health. They are located at 971 West Moana Lane in Reno, Nevada. Their phone number is 775-842-0065. Office hours, it looks like they are Monday through... No, they're not. I just started to say they're not open on Sunday. Just like Chick-fil-A. You got to be closed one day,
Yeah,
So,
you gotta have a Sabbath.
Yeah, but Saturdays by appointment only, but Monday through Friday, 8 o'clock to 6:30, Monday and Wednesday, Tuesday and Saturday by appointment only, and then Wednesday and Friday are 8 o'clock to 6:30 and 5:30.
Yeah, we
So-
have increased that, so we'll have to modify our website because we are wanting to take on more patients
Yeah,
and
they're
help more
jamming.
people.
That's
so
great.
Dr.
Yeah.
Tom, and then talk about the side facility that you have for the physical therapy aspect. Is that still going?
oh, you mean the gym next door?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So why did you add that? What happened?
one of the things that Dr. Wolf and I have, I think we both, and he does it too with his patients, we can get you to a point where now you're functioning much better, but how do we keep you from reversing?
Right. That's the key. Backslide.
Absolutely. No backsliding. And so I can get a joint repaired, but getting it strengthened is very, very difficult.
Yeah.
And so, of course, we do regular therapeutic exercise. We do rehabilitative exercise in our office. And I get people, can you do a plank? Can you do a push-up? Can you do a sit-up? Some basic stuff, some light bands and all those things. But then I've got a Parkinson's patient that couldn't feel his feet, had poor balance, could barely keep his eyes open. 6 months later, because of the gym next door, I had him start doing kettlebells.
Mhm.
Really like kettlebells.
Wow.
Now the guy is doing 70-pound kettlebell swings, doing
How old is this guy?
73
Whoa,
with
right
Parkinson's
on.
and peripheral neuropathy. And he wrecked his Ferrari and I think almost broke his neck. So this racing.
Wrecked him, almost killed him. No.
So he's amazing. So we always like, you want to be like Ted.
Love it.
Be like Ted.
He
And
liked
so,
it.
yeah, be like Ted. We're going to make t-shirts.
That's awesome. Seriously.
Yeah. And now he's throwing a 70-pound kettlebell. And I don't know if people know this. And we have a new program called Core to Floor. You don't have your core strength. You can't do things. You
Right.
can't.
Yeah.
You can't do sports. You can't walk. You can't perform where you need to perform. You get
Mhm.
my drift.
Mhm.
And so you want to keep doing these things. You have to have that core strength. And I don't know if people recognize this. If you can't carry half of your body weight in a farmer's carry for at least 25, 50 yards, you're not going to age well.
What the farmers carry, is that where you got something over your back? Like
no.
Farmers
so if you're 200 pounds,
yeah,
you have to be able to carry 100 pounds.
right.
25 distance. So using kettlebells, you'd have to have a 50-pound kettlebell in each hand and walk it.
What's a farmer's carry, though?
Like a farmer was
like carrying milk, jugs of milk.
Gotcha. I got the tie-in now. Okay.
Yeah, not a farmer.
long
Yeah,
not
a
here.
fireman's.
Not like this.
So for 200 pounds, 100 pounds, so you're talking 250-pound.
Correct. And you know how many people can't do that?
That sounds like
most. I bet a lot.
I've got Ted now doing 63.
I want to try
that. To do 30 each. Mine would be 60.
Yeah, so that's kind of the thing. But how do you get somebody to that? It's taken me 6 months.
Yes, but my God, 6 months for a 73-year-old to get that in that kind of condition, that's unbelievably quick.
Well, now we're boxing, and you should see him box, and he's chasing me now, and I'm teaching him to walk backwards.
Isn't that elderly abuse? That's elderly abuse.
No, he hits me up, so it's not.
That's fair.
If I was hitting him, then yes, I'd be elderly abuse. I get him to duck, so that works.
There you go.
And I got him doing sidestepping, and it reminds me, I gotta write this down. I've got to get him on a trampoline. I told him I was going to get him that.
Reminds me of the Man Show back in the day with Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh yeah,
Man Show. So
jumping it down.
So the thing that we're trying to do now, this is one of the companies that came to us, is that time period, and not everybody can do a plank, push up, and sit up.
Mm-hmm.
They don't again have the core. So now we're working with a company called BTL, and they brought some technology to us that was developed in Europe. It's in 92 countries, and they just started bringing it into the United States. And the technology is pretty new. It uses some forms of MRI technology, magnetic energy, to cause your muscles to contract. So that contraction, when we normally do it ourselves, we can only get about 40% contraction out of our muscles. This does 90% contractions. Yeah. So the one instrument we have for pelvic floor does 11,000 Kegels in 30 minutes. Try to do 10 in 30. I mean, how do you do that? So it builds the pelvic floor, and it gets rid of incontinence, both bladder and fecal incontinence. We've seen that within one treatment.
Wow.
It's happening.
Wait. I've been waiting for this.
Okay. Yeah, you don't do that anymore. Or
yeah. We're cured.
You might want to try it.
Dr. Wilson over there saying, I shouldn't have come here.
So then
He's the grown-up in the room.
Actually is. Yes, you tell me and Laura to stop.
How old are you?
How old do you think I am?
If I absolutely had to guess, just like what I really think, I would think like young 40s.
I'm going 57.
Metabolically, I'm 53.
Oh, wow.
Metabolically, but I'll be
61.
I was 61 in December.
Wow.
See, I was being mean.
Borderline Gen Xer there.
But I'm gonna get some extra help here pretty soon, and I'll look even younger.
So
face, body, and mind.
That's it. It's
Botox.
It's holistic.
Yeah. So
we just take off the W.
Yeah.
Why, I don't know. But
so this other piece of equipment called M-Sculpt Neo, they just came out. Their orthopedists, their neurologists came out with the ability of the technology not to just cause contraction and build up 25 to 30% of muscle fiber within 6 treatments. Yeah, you can get a 6-pack within 6 treatments within 3 weeks. So this technology will take what takes 12 to 16 weeks. You'll do it in 3 weeks.
Wow.
So now we get to take people that have not been able to do a sit-up, a plank at all, 15 seconds and they collapse. We can put them on this passive machine that they could never produce that amount of contraction and get them strong enough to then we can get them into the gym. That's amazing to me.
Yes.
We didn't have that before. So we've completely full circle being able to get people actually rehabbed, which I'll bring up a topic real quick. And now they came up with a technology in January called functional. So now it can actually be used over joints to repair joints because all we could do before is move the muscle. Now it's actually moving the ligament, the tendon, the cartilage, the blood vessels, the lymphatics, because you can't strengthen those without stressing them. But if they're broken and they're just healing, you can't take these people through heavy work. It took me 6 months to get Ted to that.
That's why you can't play, athlete when they're on injured reserve.
No.
Because, they're healing. They
We
can't
can
participate
speed
in
that up. We're
stress.
trying to go to a couple athletic organizations here and say, let us help your athletes heal faster. That's the key, right? Because we want to get people moving as soon as possible, right? And that's what I'm so excited about, that we can now do that and not just say, okay, go to your home gym and start doing this when we know they're not going to do it.
Mhm.
And then once they get that way, then we get them in our gym next door. And then Dr. Wolf and I sometimes will go with them and work out at their gym and say, this is how you use the equipment there. And now we maintain them and keep them healthy. And then, of course, all the additional nutritional stuff that accompanies that. Because unfortunately, in the allopathic side, you go from the medical side where they say medication, surgery, injections, and then we're going to send you to physical therapy.
Right.
Did you fix anything? So I get patients coming in, well, I'm going to physical therapy. I said, it's too soon. You're not healed. You still have damage. You still have dysfunction. Your ligaments, tendons can't handle the exercise. I have a patient right now that came in on Wednesday. She's in excruciating pain. She's got herniated discs, pain down the legs. I said, you got to do decompression. We got to get you feeling better and stronger. Well, I'm going to use my insurance and go to physical therapy. And she comes in all flared up. And she goes, why am I hurting? I said, we talked about this almost 6 months ago. This is what's happening. You need to come in. But if you're not going to, wear a back brace. And it's just frustrating sometimes because, again, our system doesn't allow for health care. It deals with sick care. And we have this totally backwards. Physical therapy is great. Should be the last thing you ever do.
Our population is kind of programmed to that type.
On purpose.
Yeah.
On purpose. It was deliberate.
Yeah.
Right.
It was deliberate.
Again, I don't want to say it was deliberate from the provider's perspective.
Not at all from the providers. Not at all. They were
they were
into it just like everybody.
Something. And this is
way
what
above
they
them.
know.
No.
Right?
It started way above them. It's
Right.
not the providers. It's not the patients. It's
It's
the
a little
medical
frustrating.
industrial complex.
Yeah.
It is. And it's just a vicious cycle. But that can easily be broken by the individual.
That's it. All we have to do is just stop.
Say, I'm done.
Just stop.
I'll stop the planet. I want to get off.
Didn't I tell you that I did that the other day? I went to...
You got off the planet? How'd you do that?
Well, with pain management, I went to my pain management
You did
doctor,
mention that.
and I said, this is my last prescription. He's like, really? And I'm just like, yeah. I said, I'm just gonna pretty much pretend that I don't have this. I'm going to. It's like in the old days, if like my back was hurting, then I would make sure that I address that area of the back. I need to stretch more or anything like that. And so now it's just like my back is hurting, just like, oh, let me take some gabapentin, or
Right. I'm gonna cover it.
because I don't,
Which isn't even built for that.
because I
It's
don't
a
have.
neurological.
Well, because I tell
Softly.
myself I don't have time to stretch. I got shit to do. You know what I mean? So just let me do this.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I'd like you to know that, because that's what you're saying that people should do. Not in every circumstance.
Well,
but,
there's a point where you have to deal with the current situation.
it was the point of diminishing returns for me.
Yeah.
So my story is, former athlete. I used to really go for it, and so 2019 is the only time in my life that I was in a wheelchair. Was the day where I had a chiropractic adjustment for 2 weeks. I was just going through acute pain. Had a doctor's appointment after the chiropractor's adjustment. By the time that happened, I had to crawl to the car. I
Mhm.
could not get out of the car. When the doctor came out and opened the door, he thought I got shot.
Oh my God.
It was like that,
Mhm.
that much. So at that point right there, starting to, again, I talked to you about it the other day. The pain gets so bad that you want to give up. You're just like, I do not want to live like this. Taking 3 a day of the 325 milligram, oxy and stuff like that. And so now it's like, I would take like one every 3 days, but still it's just like, well, if I'm taking one every 3 days,
Why do I need to
just
take
quit
it?
it. Let's just stop
Well,
the whole thing.
You bring up a point that we're hoping to address in our clinic. I'm going to be taking care of the mechanical issues and some of the nutritional stuff, but with Dr. Wolf, he's really going to get down to the nitty gritty. He's going to find out why you needed that to begin with. We do a blood. I'm not doing it. Dr. Wolf is doing a blood analysis, and it's absolutely amazing what you can learn. And I'm going to have him talk about that a little bit because now we're really getting into some interesting science.
Yeah, so live blood cell analysis and dark field microscopy. So we take a drop of blood, we put it in the microscope, and we'll look at your white blood cells. Are the eosinophils out of whack as far as are there too many, too little, the neutrophils, so on and so forth. So we could see pretty much, are you suffering oxidative stress, or do you need antioxidants? Are you showing high amounts of spicules or what we're calling inflammation? Is there something in the plasma that's not supposed to be there? Like we're going to say Lyme, Borrelia babesia, something like that. So we'll be able to pretty much ascertain what's going on. Why do you feel bad? Then you look at your red blood cells and they're econocytes here. They're misshapen. You think, okay, so the mitochondria is not converting your food, your nutrients to energy. So this is why you're fatigued. So we'll be able to do that. It takes about 30 minutes.
Wow.
It's not bad at all.
Wow.
It's really easy. We don't diagnose by that, but we just get a standpoint.
Yeah.
Do you have
That's that
the
point.
patient get their blood drawn from a lab, or do you do that on site?
It's just a finger stick and we do it
Okay.
right on
Awesome.
spot.
Excellent.
This is
Pretty
where
easy.
we're getting to the root cause.
Yeah, I
I
like
mean,
that.
you're getting at the molecular level at this point. You know, and that's the thing that's so exciting about what we're doing is you come in, I'm in pain. We understand. Let's get you out of pain. But then do you want to know how your body's doing? That's a totally another level.
Yeah.
And people are not
Some people
used
don't.
to. And that's fine.
Yeah.
But then don't come to me in a year or two from now and say, I didn't know. Well, yes, you did. You just chose not to know. But again, I think it's comes back. I got a great consultant that I work with, a mentor, and he wrote a book, You Deserve It. And I think a lot of people, unfortunately, don't think they do.
No.
I don't deserve to be healthy. I don't deserve to have good relationships. I don't deserve to have a
And
successful
that's a
career.
whole nother issue. I deal with a
Yeah,
lot of
it
that
is,
stuff as a
yeah.
life coach.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like
That's my
self-esteem stuff.
But that still affects. We were just talking about
Oh.
it today. The mind, body, soul connection, and
it
if
starts with the mind.
100%,
And they're so
the programming
interconnected.
all the way
Oh
back to
my
being a kid
God.
is like, what? How did you perceive yourself? How did your parents perceive you? I mean, I've gone through those myself about, oh, you're not as smart as your brother,
Ugh.
but my IQ's higher.
Right.
Why am I having? Well, you see words backwards and numbers backwards, and I didn't know that. Yeah, so there's all these different things that create these ideas and mindsets in you that we need to address. And until you are capable of addressing it biomechanically, metabolically, hormonally, it's going to be difficult.
In other words, holistically.
Very much so. Yeah. What's going on in your blood? That is your communication signal system right there. It's our highway.
I like that. So what does the reading look like? When you take the blood test, do you do a specific blood test based on what their condition is, or is it an open-ended blood test that'll just give you a list of all things, and then if there's something that kind of is out of whack, it'll indicate it on the test?
Well, what you do when you do the
Results.
test, you're looking at everything that's going on in the bloodstream right now. And it's like, say, for example, you do have Lyme disease. You're going to see a little teeny Lyme
There you go.
spirochete,
Yeah.
floating through there. And so you're going to say, okay, this is the techniques. These are what we're going to have to do. We're going to have detox. You do a Lyme protocol to get
Yeah.
rid of that. And you're going to look at everything else, how much inflammation is being caused. So we want to get rid of that parasite that's in there.
Now, that would make sense, but how would a blood test identify, say, a pinched nerve? How do you see that on
you're
a
going to
blood
see
test?
inflammation.
Inflammation.
Yeah. And so
Okay.
you got to understand, we're dealing with metabolic, we're dealing with mechanical, because we are in this physical realm. You can
Yeah.
feel that
You
that's
got
mechanical.
angles and
Yeah, that's what I deal with. And then the metabolic and how our body's communicating is what he's going to get into some more. And then we also do the hormonal, the testosterone, the estrogen, the progesterone.
what about the brain connectivity?
Well,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
But you got to balance all of this out. I mean, I want to talk a little bit about the hormone part because we don't have to age. And our society has gotten to the point where once you hit 45, 50, it's downhill from there. No.
And it's expected. People just
It is.
fall into that. I mean, my whole family collapsed on it, on the person down, on to, next.
Yeah. My dad's
And just
79 years
expected.
old, and I put him on testosterone in his 50s, and he's 79. He works out 3 days a week. He's got Parkinson's. You'd never know it.
Wow.
And I know a lot of it has to do because he kept on his testosterone. He still has muscle tone. He still has bone density. He still has his mental faculties. And testosterone is a huge, huge healing molecule
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
for both male and female.
Amen.
And very few people get on it. And then the stuff they do get on is from the pharmaceutical
Right,
companies, and
right.
it doesn't do anything. So
I told you last time, the reason I don't take testosterone is I already have hair on my knuckles, and I don't want to like turn into a werewolf with too much testosterone.
that's fine. You're not going to age strong, and your wife's going to be stronger than you because she's getting on testosterone. She's kicking your butt.
Yeah, I don't mess with my wife. Yeah, that's for sure.
That's a good idea, not to mess with your wife.
But anyway, talk about hormones. Sorry.
I just did.
Is that it?
Yeah, come in and
Okay.
get your testosterone.
That's the whole thing. It's not that difficult. It's not that complicated.
Yeah.
It's basic body 101. I mean, and it's funny because, we learned about all this stuff in elementary school, high school, and we ignored it. And we're like, oh, I'm not going to need to know this. I'm not going to be a scientist.
Mhm.
No, that was about how your darn body works.
Well, the crazy thing is they knew about testosterone replacement in the 1930s. They were doing implants in the 1930s.
Yeah.
Why did it stop?
Because it works.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
It worked. And in the late 30s, early 40s, a medical doctor said it causes prostate cancer. It was verbal.
Wow.
It became verbal to verbal to verbal. There's no
Whisper down the lane.
Yes, there's no studies that actually prove that. It's actually the opposite. I was taught with our providers back in 2000s from a cancer surgeon for breast cancer, a female breast cancer surgeon that gave every single woman testosterone because it's an antagonist to estrogen. So it would bind to the breast tissue and keep the estrogen from creating more proliferatory tissue.
Wow.
And I was at a conference once, and I had another doctor in 2005 say, you cannot give testosterone, it will cause prostate cancer. And I didn't say anything to him while he was
They
up
get
on
programmed
stage.
as bad as the patients.
He comes out, and I say, doctor, I got a question for you. And he goes, yeah. And I said, how many 19-year-olds have prostate cancer? If testosterone caused prostate cancer,
What a
we'd
great
be
point.
dead.
What a great point.
So it's like, come on, gentlemen, think.
Yeah.
When did humanity turn into complete dumbasses? Where we
they hear
stop
a
thinking for
story
ourselves.
and they think it's true, and there's no data to prove it as actual
Cognitive dissonance
opposite.
in this world is ridiculous, and people still.
Yeah, but we listen to things, and now we got social media, and we listen to that, and we think that's truth. And so your truth is your truth, and my truth is my truth.
Right.
So unfortunately, that's the problem. And so we're happen to, in our practice, give people, here's the true data. Here is what's happening with patients. This is why you need to make sure you got your testosterone levels high. Do you recognize that the biggest muscle in your body, and I don't know if people know what that is, some people more than others, but no, it's one solid piece of muscle, and that's the heart.
That's right.
One solid piece of muscle.
Of course.
It has the most testosterone receptor sites on it anywhere.
Interesting. It also has
Just-
its own neuroreceptors.
True. But if you don't have testosterone, what is the point of testosterone? It's muscle repair.
Mm.
When does testosterone stop coming down? You're late to at least to early 40s. When does cardiovascular disease start? About 45.
Yeah.
Because the heart isn't repairing because there's no testosterone.
Interesting.
I had my heart tested because I had some friends have heart attacks. I'm like, I'm freaking out. One's older and one's younger than me. I went to Carson, they did a full MRI imaging of my heart. And I said, your heart's bigger than normal. And I said, is that bad? He goes, no, it's stronger. It's got more muscle. I was 56 at the time.
Interesting.
It's got more muscle. That's really interesting. I've been on testosterone since 39.
It's because you care so much.
I have a big heart. I'm not the Grinch.
I like it.
What side is your heart, Grady? I'm kind of curious.
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's probably Grinchy.
No, I don't. Yeah,
Not at all.
I would argue that. Let's ask a real question. So,
wasn't a real question.
No, I mean, like in regards to meshing the difference between, say, Western medicine and Eastern medicine. So, what, in your professional opinion, needs to happen with the AMA and the FDA collectively together to bridge the gap between what
Abolish
we're
them?
kind of complaining about and what you guys are advocating for?
I'm going to let Dr. Wolf answer this. I got opinion, but it's a little political.
Well, we work integratively with them. So we like shake hands. Where they cannot go, we go. Where we can't go, they go. And there's a Nevada Homeopathic Medical Licensing Board where a lot of the doctors of osteopathy have been licensed, and that allows them to do more than they can with their conventional medical license. So they're going to go on the outskirts just a little bit. So worked very well with Dr. Bruce Fong for quite a while, and to see his different techniques and what Dr. Tom's doing here. So as far as the AMA, they know that there are some people out there that are kind of pushing the limits, but it's still, we're non-invasive, so we're not going over the boundaries at all.
Now, is this something that you as practitioners have kind of asked them to do, or was this something that you're talking about that was initiated by them?
This was actually initiated by Dan Royal's father, and I don't remember his first name. And he's got the Royal Clinic in Las Vegas. They started this board.
He used to have a radio show with us.
Exactly.
Well,
So,
And one of the things that
did you guys know Jim Forsyth too?
Yeah. So I think the reality of it is between the medical community and what we're doing here, it's absolutely needed on both sides. Like I had mentioned, you're not going to come to us if you have a health
Bone
risk.
sticking out.
Yeah. You're dying. You need that right now. But then after you've been stabilized, come and see us. That's the kind of the mentality.
Yeah.
We want to get you detoxed.
Yeah.
We have a program for that. Because one of the things I love to do as a healthcare practitioner is look at what's out there that people don't know about. And so we have a product called Pro Clear Detox that actually takes out 79 heavy metals. It takes out all the pesticides and microplastics. And you don't have to go through chelation. It uses something called zeolite.
Oh, yeah. I take zeolite.
You got to make sure you're taking the right zeolite because some of the zeolite out there actually has heavy metals in them.
Right.
So Dr. Nicholas had been developing this particular one for over 20 years. And now I've got a physician strength. So you don't have to take as much of it. Yeah, I actually had been taking them, and then I took it about a month and a half ago. Now that we've got it, I broke out in my chest.
Interesting. Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, getting rid of the toxins. And then in combination with our nitric oxide, which nobody knows about.
Right.
And that you have to have blood flow.
Yeah.
And if you don't have nitric oxide, you're not going to get it. And that
What depletes nitric oxide?
Our bodies naturally make it in the epithelial cells of our capillaries and our arteries. Unfortunately, we're not getting the nitrites in our diet anymore, which is basically fertilizer in our organic vegetable. It's just being depleted. So we're supposed to generate it. We're not generating it. We're supposed to absorb it through our food. We're not doing that. So unfortunately, we've got 13, 14-year-olds that are becoming our practice that we test are completely out of nitric oxide. They have none. And it's supposed to stop around 45, 50. And it's happening now. And it's because of the technology, the Wi-Fi, the G5. It oxidizes what nitric oxide you're producing.
Wow.
And you have kids that GI systems don't work. Their brain doesn't work. They have blood pressure issues because you have to have the nitric oxide to vasodilate and constrict. So you have all these metabolic conditions that are happening because we're not getting nitrites and nitric oxide development. And the developer or the scientists that discovered how it actually worked in 1998, that's when it came up. They won the Nobel Prize for understanding how nitric oxide worked in our bodies. They said every cardiologist need to be prescribing it. You know how many do?
Mm.
None.
None.
They don't.
No, they don't
They'll
make
give you a
money off of it.
statin, a blood
Of
pressure
course they
med.
will.
This is a natural form to control that. So we provide that in a practice. You have to get the right product, and we can talk about that at some other time. I've actually did a podcast on this place talking about it with Beth Shirley, our clinical pharmacist with AMS, and she's amazing. Because one of the things they also found out is that with nitric oxide, you have to have it as what they call a transport molecule.
Mm-hmm.
It attaches itself to the red blood cell, allows for the oxygen to also attach. So if you think about it, if you don't have nitric oxide, you're having difficulty even getting the oxygen molecule on the red blood cell. So, and we're wondering why people have all of these weird conditions.
Does it create blood clots?
If you don't have nitric oxide, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I had a massive blood clot from my ankle all the way up into my groin in 2022.
COVID?
No, I didn't get the shot.
You didn't have to.
Never had COVID, never had the
that
shot.
you know of.
No.
Because there are people that actually had that virus getting in their system and affecting the way the blood coagulated with or without.
Interesting.
Yeah, even
Interesting.
without the
I don't think it was that.
symptoms.
I think it had been going for a long time and just finally, hit the point at which my leg swelled to 3 times its normal size.
Good.
And then it turns out I'm somehow genetically predisposed, like 8 times more likely because of my genetics. They did some kind of test.
Well, that would be a Dr. Wolf
Yeah.
thing.
It's fine now. I mean, I don't, they put me on Eliquis and I said no. So I take lumbrokinase and nattokinase instead. And I haven't had any problems since.
That's good. That's really good.
Yeah.
You got another one for us,
But that would
Laura?
make
Our operations manager keeps writing notes to me because I just need to stop talking. They already told me I was going to talk too much.
I got this right here. I'm going to just give you a shout out here, Dr. Tom, in the little commercial type of format, Dr. Waldorf's website. I want you to go to activelifereno.com and check it out, you guys. His approach to healthcare, not sick care, started back in college, like he said.
And not functional medicine, functional health.
Exactly. But through proper nutrition, supplementation, medication when necessary, as he was just talking about.
Basically what we should have been doing the whole time, but thought we were going to escape something.
Yeah.
Like I thought we were going to get away with something. Ooh, time to pay the piper, kids.
So, but
one way or the other.
Integrated clinic work here with him is alive and well. That's good to hear. So, Dr. Tom, why don't you give everybody information on how they can get in touch with you, and after that, also let people know if you of course take care of medical providers and things like that, insurance that works, things that don't work. Maybe an initial cost or anything like that. I see something you may have a special offer, for new patients and stuff like that.
What we do in our practice, we want to have a conversation with you. Again, as we mentioned, we don't know if we're the right fit for you. And if we're not, we're going to send you to the right provider. So you're not coming in and that like, you're going to get this. Everybody gets this. We don't do that in our practice. So we have a complimentary consultation. And that doesn't cost people anything to have a conversation. If we find that you're the right candidate for our care, then we'll go into the examination, and there's a fee for that for both myself and Dr. Wolf, and both of us have a conversation as well about what we think is appropriate for you.
Okay.
And while we're doing that, we check your insurance to see what is covered. Unfortunately, with the way our sick care system works, they don't cover everything because they're not looking to your health.
Looking to fix you.
They just want to fix the problem and then let you go on your way. So we have programs in place to help people get the care they need.
Yeah. And just looking at your website, the conditions that you guys help with, of course, spine-related issues, back pain, also headaches, migraines, neck pain, sciatica, scoliosis. That's, my situation.
Scoliosis?
Yeah. And I'm going to show you when I went and got the MRI. It's a pretty good breakdown. But anybody with a car accident injury, any kind of disc injury, your extremities, any kind of personal injury, really, if you fall off your skateboard or whatever, things aren't right, you're hurting your elbow, sports injury, strains,
it
sprains.
doesn't really matter what it is.
Yeah.
To be honest, if you're not having to call 911.
What about psychological? How much can you help with that?
I'll send them to you.
Okay, that's it.
No. There's some truth to that. We're not a mental health clinic, but there are things that depending on what you're dealing with, we can address. We have some programs it's called STAR in our practice. It was developed by a group of doctors on the East Coast that they use in the military and in the hospitals on how to deal with your stress,
Okay.
their actual techniques. And then also working with Dr. Wolf, there's a whole process about
Yeah.
what is going on with you mentally and how it's affecting you physically, or how your physical
It's
is
affecting the
affecting you
mental,
mentally. I mean, it's
absolutely. It's all connected.
we're not just a heart, a lung, a
Right.
kidney. There's
Mhm.
so much more to it.
I mean,
So
seriously, all this stuff is very impressive. You know, you had your fibromyalgia,
fibromyalgia.
Yeah.
myalgia, yes,
I had that.
TMJ, you know, vertigo, things like that. So it's almost like I'm starting to think like if there's anything wrong with you, just call Dr. Tom.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
especially if you've kind of been going through the hamster wheel, right,
Yeah.
for a couple, 2 or
I'd
3
really,
years or
I
whatever.
really want to
and not
call
working.
it,
Give you guys a try.
call us first.
Yeah, well, of course, but
Yeah, because I don't want you going down that hamster wheel.
Don't have to go down that hamster.
No.
That's
Yeah.
what people need to know. The message is you don't have to go down the hamster wheel and fall into
And
the
we're
same
going to
thing
tell
everybody
you
else
this,
does.
you need to go get this addressed right now,
right.
and we'll let you know.
Yeah.
You've got myself, you got Dr. Wolf, a medical practitioner, our nurse practitioners. We will let you know that this is the right place for you or it's not. And one thing that, besides the website, it gives you some of our basic things that we're doing in more detail.
Mhm.
But we could also be watched on Instagram and Facebook because we're constantly putting new information up there. 30 seconds, a minute of information about
That's
all the
powerful
different
too.
things. Yeah, our operations manager is a whiz at putting this information on, and we're having patients tell you what they're going through, you know, constantly. And you know, we're doing this daily, weekly, and that way, again, I want people to know what we do by educating them, not by telling them you have to do this or this is the only way. I need to find out. Dr. Wolf and I need to find out what is the right way for you.
Yeah, and you guys are going to be getting your brand out there. You had dabbled a little bit in the podcast arena. That's still going to happen. Probably, pull it back to about once a month.
Yeah,
to kind of
I
get things
think
going. You guys are busy.
Yeah.
we have
Yeah.
gotten really busy, which is wonderful. And at the same time, you know, working with you guys on those podcasts, it does take work. I mean,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I not only need to prep for this, but then I need to do it.
Yeah.
You know, it was 3 hours on a Tuesday and then 3 hours on a Thursday. And I'm like, now with the way our practice is growing, I've got to be in the practice. But I love doing this with you guys. This was
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah. Like 2 hours once a month.
And
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
Yeah. It
get
just,
in and talk to her.
and being able to have I mean, this was kind of an introduction, but I love even to hear Dr. Wolf go into a little bit more detail about what he's doing
Yeah.
because it's not common. It is something very new. It's very new to our practice. I've always known about it, but now to have him there,
So how did you guys know each other?
Laura,
Laura, that's
it's
the
all Laura's
connector?
fault.
And then so doctor, take us through your journey with meeting Dr. Tom when it crystallized as far as like you guys kind of partnering up. And then as he said, what are you going to be doing specifically there?
When I first came in, it was like a godsend kind of thing. I came in, I really, really enjoyed his candor, his sense of humor, you know, just who he was as a person, and then his goal. I mean, a lot of doctors I've worked with were, well, we're going to do this, 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 and it's going to cost them this much. Well, Dr. Tom, you know, he cares so much about the client, the patient, and what they're going through and their journey in life and how he can fix it. And I've seen him just really we got to get this, you know, and he cares so much about the patients that I went, this is a good fit. This is just not what I'm used to
Yeah.
out in this area. And so I do, you know, what I do is just, I want to go to the core. I want to see, when did it all start? What accumulated? Because you got to look at cultural differences. You got to look at environmental. You got to look at the foods, you know, just everything. And what brought them to this area? Why are they suffering this way? And I was taught in India that a person only expresses an illness in the body's state of rest. So you could be going through stressing and stressing and stressing. It's only when you
And
retire
you stop.
or when you start to slow down, body starts giving you all these symptoms. So we're saying, why is this going on now? Well, it's because you're not as active as you were before. And so it's just kind of like when you're building your muscles, the only way they're going to grow is at rest. You can't keep working them or you're going to atrophy.
Right.
It's going to break them down. So you have to have a rest. And that way the body then comes up and says, I'm going to give you a symptom. Now that you're calmed down, now I can give you a chance to heal.
I can
So that's what
send
we
you
wanna do.
messages that something's
Mhm.
wrong here. And
Exactly. And so we go a little bit deeper. I learned also that the sides of the body, mean a certain thing. I use Herring's Law of Cure. If you've never heard of that, that's from the top down because we want to look at is the disease progressing or disease progressing or is it getting better? So we go from the top down, from the greater organ to the lesser organ, from the inside out. And the skin being the greatest organ, the body is naturally going to push everything to the skin. And that's the perfect way of healing because it's less likely to cause, death if you have something in the skin. So we look at is the disease going in the right direction or is it going in the wrong direction? I've seen in a lot of the medical practices, I see the disease going from the feet upward. And then why am I getting worse? Well, it's going in the wrong direction. You guys are doing the wrong treatment or the wrong pharmaceutical or something's going on. Your stress has not been alleviated. You're not getting blood flow. It's just we have to keep it going in the right direction and we'll be able to see that. So that's what we want to integrate. And he's doing a lot of that here, which is phenomenal. I just thought it was a great fit.
Now, how are you trade shows? How are you guys going to get the word out there? What's your plan? I know we're working on some things.
The biggest thing that I have said since I've wanted to do this type of practice, and I just feel really blessed that it's happening. I wake up in the middle of the night going, okay, what about this one, about this? And you don't have to worry about it. We're making this happen now. You can relax and start
just get into the
enjoying
flow.
this.
Yep.
Yeah, and worry doesn't do anything. It's action.
It really doesn't.
No, but my
Action,
brain
yeah.
won't shut down thinking about it.
Do you have anything for that, Dr. Wolf?
He's actually given it to me already. It's a big thing of vodka. No, seriously though, that we want to get the message out in all different ways that we're here to help. And I've said it on my web, you're not a number. You're not just somebody that we're wanting to make money off of. I want to see you have an active life. That's why I called it that.
Yeah.
I want you to be able to have the life that you deserve. I want you to be able to do your sport, to be with your grandkids, to do that traveling, to do whatever it is that you want your body to do. I want you to be able to do that.
Sure. And not just deserve, but have earned. A lot of cases, people get into their 60s and 70s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and get into retirement and then collapse. That's not what this was all about.
It's just like what Dr. Wolf said, though. I know I personally experienced what he just said. I suffered from migraines. My mom had them.
Too.
My son has them. My daughter has them. It's a hereditary thing. But what's really bizarre is I'll go 100 miles an hour and then I'll sit down on the weekend and bam, I'm in a dark room suffering from a migraine.
Yep.
And that's because of that whole concept. The body's like saying, okay, you've stopped. Now I'm going to tell you about this. And I get patients, they go, well, my foot feels better, but now my shoulder hurts.
Your
I
body
said,
keeps score.
yeah, your body's telling you, okay, now that's better. Let me tell you about this spot. And I said, aren't we fortunate that our body doesn't tell us about everything all at once? We would have never survived. And I asked ladies, I said, why did you have a second kid? Wasn't that painful? The first one?
I forgot.
Yeah, it's amazing how our bodies will do that, right? So to my perspective, Dr. Wolf and I have to do the care in our practice, but then take the opportunity like this to be able to tell people about it. So fortunately, we have Laura, our operations manager, that is getting our voice out there, redoing our website, doing the social media. And I'll just be perfectly honest, when I didn't have her, I was lucky to get 6 views. In the last 2 weeks, we've had almost 12,000 views.
Wow.
Yeah, what are you trying to tell me? Which one am I supposed to look at? Oh, yeah, that's true. And this is the crazy thing. Laura and I are, I think, both very type A personalities. So we got some new technology in our practice on the 5th of September, and on the 6th, we had a demo day the next day.
Wow.
And it was fantastic. So we're going to do open houses. We're going to do demo nights and demo days. People want to come in and say, I need to learn about this. I want to see how it works. We're going to have those opportunities. We're going to go to all the different things because Reno is the biggest little city, right? There's all these different activities. We got something we're going into, the wedding, something November 2nd. I don't know all these things.
Oh, I was just going to go to the WOW meeting on Wednesday.
I don't know what that is, but we've got another gal that's come in that wants to help us because she's excited about what we do and she's going to get us out there. So it's really just about getting Active Life out there, start branding it so people see that and they go, oh, that's that wellness type clinic. I need to find out about that. I'm actually getting ready to wrap my truck. So I drive around with all of our And so it's funny because last year I'm like, I'm not ready to brand. I'm not ready to brand. I don't have the team together. And now I was like, I got a team.
Oh, yeah.
I got an A team together and we're going to blow this up in Northern Nevada and Tahoe
and beyond.
And beyond.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And teach others to do the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, I
can see people flying in for this, like the word getting out globally and people.
That's what I'm.
Laura, you want to hop on and say anything before we
just say hi.
Wrap this up? Yeah.
Yeah, just say hi.
Yeah.
Because everybody's going to be talking to you anyway.
Hi, everybody. Follow us on our Facebook at Active Life Integrated Health and follow us on our Instagram at Active Life Integrated Health. There is an underscore in between all words. That way you can keep up to date with our patient education. You can keep up with any specials or promotions that we have going on. And you can also click in and listen to testimonials of people who are going through things that you may be suffering with as well.
That's awesome. Do you do the M-Cell and M-Sculpt treatments yourself?
I do. I do the consultations for them. I am doing the treatments. And while patients are back there, I'm also learning about how the treatments are helping them. So I spend a lot of time with the patients as they're back there on M-Sculpt as well as the M-Cellus.
That's cool. I want to try that so bad. I've been looking into M-Sculpt for a while and I'm hooked. I'm like, yeah, I think that would work.
Oh, we're going to put you on that. We'll put you on the throne, as I like to call it.
I call it the throne of power.
And you'll get that. You'll
the Yoni throne.
You'll start to see those results. And that's the part that I truly enjoy about my job is sitting back there with the patients and they're telling me that they're not running to the restroom, and that they're not being forced to run home because they're having fecal incontinence issues. And that they're starting to see after 1-2 treatments that, that core is starting to tighten up and they're able to get their active life back. So it truly is a joy.
Yeah, we've
That's
had one
awesome.
lady say that she'd always have to run from the barn to the house. And then she noticed that she wasn't doing it anymore. You talk about giving people's lives back.
Giving people their lives back. I mean, just, time. It's funny. I've always said, like, since I was little, I've always said if there was one thing I could change about humanity, it would be to eliminate the need to go to the bathroom. It is my most annoying thing ever. I can't stand it. It wastes so much time.
Yeah, but when we would look at social media.
It's funny. I just saw a video about not doing that because it's so bad for your muscles.
We can fix that.
Well, yay for Laura. She's wonderful, and you guys
Absolutely. Absolutely. I
otherwise
mean,
known as the glue.
I have to tell you, there another time, but it's amazing how we came together.
That's cool.
I don't know what, but it was a God thing,
Yep.
absolute God thing for us.
Oh, that's so cool.
Because I've tried. Sometimes you just can't do it
You
yourself.
just have to let it happen.
You have to let it happen. And I with Dr. Wolf coming on board as well. I mean, I'm like, I've known about this stuff. It'd be really cool to be able to do it in my office. And here we are.
There it is.
Now,
Put
he's
it out,
not
you put
talking
it out
about-
there in the universe and it manifests.
Yes.
I just thought of a joke. I'm not going to say it though.
Why not?
No. It's kind of inappropriate. We'll save it
Tease
for
like that.
We'll save it for a regular show.
There you-
Well, heck, you guys.
Yeah, this has been great.
This really has.
Yeah. What's the matter with Active Life?
Nothing.
But Active Life, Reno.com. Is that where you want to drive them to? Is that that one? Yeah, 971. You guys give Dr. Tom a call, 775-842-0065.
They're located, just for landmark's sake, it's where Joseph's Vienna is now and right next to Ben's.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know that.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good spot.
It's a great spot. It's
And
a
it
nice
was-
facility, too.
And it was a pleasure meeting Dr. Aaron Wolf, and I'm excited about the partnership that you guys have together. Now, me and Kel, you know what? God, I should have had this. I can't remember what we were talking about on Wednesday. Can you remember? See?
Yeah,
it's
you need,
okay.
you need a little
Yeah,
mental
we're going to
help
talk
with
about we're going to talk about something that
We're gonna
matters.
get you on that nitric oxide, good blood flow to the brain.
I should have been more prepared. But we are going to be back this Wednesday at 4:00 following the beer fest. Are you going to the beer fest tomorrow?
I hadn't thought about
Got
it.
some
Maybe I
reggae
will.
going on.
Yeah.
You
I
should
haven't
go
been in
check it
years. I
out.
used to go every year. I haven't been in a
Oh my
long
gosh!
time.
If you could hang out, if you want to hang out with my high school buddies, I think we got a free ticket for you. But
Okay.
I can't take any
Okay. What
responsibility
time?
for those guys. So I'll talk to you after this.
Okay.
So hey, we're gonna see you guys on Wednesday at 4:00. This is the G-Man signing off. See ya.